Welcome to the Deep Dive. We sift through the sources, find the key insights, and help you navigate what's coming up. Today, we're diving into a really specific and potentially potent time. The last 2 weeks of September 2025. So that's September 17th through the 30th, like a cosmic final sprint. We've got this astrological guide. It's titled September 2025, an astrological guide to equinox transformation. And our goal here is simple. Pull out the most important bits for you, help you understand what this period might feel like, and how to work with it. The guide calls it a portal of endings, clarifying fire, and a deep equinox reset. Sounds intense. It's not just about watching, right? It's about engaging.
Exactly. This isn't your average couple of weeks. What really jumps out from the guide is this phrase, a concentrated catalytic window.
Well,
It's like a cosmic zoom in, everything that's been sort of brewing under the surface. It gets tested, pruned, clarified. The main themes are definitely endings, getting really clear on boundaries, and this push towards what it calls radical inner honesty. It really hammers home this idea of the universe giving you a scalpel, not a paintbrush.
a scalpel, not a paintbrush.
Wow.
Wow, okay. That definitely sets the tone. So let's unpack this then. What are the actual cosmic events driving this? The guide mentions a few headline energies we need to know about. They seem to come one after another.
Yeah, the timing is really packed. First up, there's a new moon, and it's combined with a partial solar eclipse. That's on September 21st, around 7:54 p.m. UTC. Eclipses, as you know, tend to open and close doors, often pretty suddenly.
Right. Always feel a bit disruptive.
They can be, and normally a new moon is about new beginnings, planting seeds. But here, because it's with an eclipse, the guide really stresses it's more for deep pruning. So less about starting fragile new things.
And more about cutting back.
Exactly. It's framed as a portal, a powerful time to release what doesn't fit anymore. You clear the decks, then reset intentions for the new season. It's very much about intentional letting go.
Okay, so a forceful clearing first. And then, almost immediately after that, on the 21st, nature steps in with the autumnal equinox on September 22nd.
Yeah.
How does that piece fit in?
Well, the equinox is that moment of perfect balance, right? Equal day, equal night. It's like a natural pause button, a time to recalibrate. The guide calls it a spiritual reset.
A spiritual reset.
Yeah, a time to, quote, harvest what's useful, cast off the rest, and tune to seasonal rhythm. So after the eclipse makes you let go, maybe forcefully, the equinox gives you this natural rhythm to kind of integrate that, to really look at what you've grown, what you're keeping, and what you're shedding as things turn inward for the season.
Okay, that makes sense. Eclipse clears, equinox balances. But this is where it sounds like things could get tricky. The guide mentions a heavy power move transit, that's Mars squaring Pluto, around September 24th. Now, Mars is action, drive. Pluto is deep power transformation. A square means tension, right? What happens when those two clash?
You framed that perfectly. It is described as an intense testing transit. No doubt about it. The guide says it can expose power plays, maybe force endings that need to happen, or really push you to reclaim your authority, your power in your own life.
So confrontation potential.
It definitely has that potential. But what's really interesting is the advice. It's not about picking fights. It's about using that intense energy to transform obstinate patterns within yourself. The guide strongly cautions, avoid dramatic confrontations unless necessary. It suggests the real work, the real power move, is often internal, being surgical with your own stuff.
Ah, okay. So the power move isn't necessarily against someone else, but more about mastering your own reaction, transforming how you operate.
Precisely. That seems to be the core advice.
Is there like a common trap with this Mars-Pluto energy, something we should really watch out for?
Yeah, I think the biggest one is getting sucked into mirroring power plays you see around you. You might feel provoked. You might want to dominate, fight back in the same way.
Right, that reactive urge.
Exactly. But the guide suggests the highest use of this energy is reclaiming authority over your life, which often means figuring out where you've maybe given your power away, consciously or not. It's about self-mastery, not controlling others.
Got it. Okay. So those are the big, sharp events. But you mentioned there's also something happening in the background, Saturn retrograde.
That's right. It's not just these sudden jolts. There's this slower underlying current.
And retrograde, just quickly for anyone listening, it means the planet looks like it's moving backward.
Yeah.
Right? And astrologically, that means.
Yeah, from our view on Earth. Astrologically, it often means a time for review, reevaluation, maybe slowing down in the areas the planet rules. So Saturn is often about structures, foundations, responsibilities, like the cosmic builder. So Saturn retrograde is kind of like the universe saying, hang on, Let's check those blueprints again. Is the foundation solid before we add another floor? The guide says this slower planetary backdrop encourages reorganizing foundations and reviewing commitments rather than rushing new builds.
So less about starting new things.
And more about checking the integrity of what's already there. Yeah.
Okay, so the eclipse in Mars-Pluto are pushing for decisive action, clearing things out, while Saturn's like, hold on, let's make sure we're doing this thoughtfully. It sounds like a balancing act. This is, well, it's a lot to handle. The guide also talks about a spiritual message for the chosen ones during this time. It calls the period a spiritual sifter, where truth will be revealed quickly and sometimes bluntly. That phrase, chosen ones, can sometimes sound a bit exclusive. How should we understand that here?
That's a really good point. I don't think the guide means that like some special pre-selected group. It reads more like it refers to anyone who chooses to engage consciously, anyone who's ready to show up and work with these energies intentionally rather than just being swept along.
Ah, okay, so it's about choosing to participate consciously.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So for those of us who do want to engage, what are the main calls to action? What should we be focusing on?
The guide lays out 4 really clear, actionable things. First, and it says this is vital, protect your energy. This means being really mindful, maybe limiting social media, definitely protecting your attention, which it calls time-limited attention. I like that.
Yeah.
And actively steering clear of toxic loops, those draining conversations or situations. Basically be super intentional about where your energy goes. It's a valuable resource now.
That sounds crucial, but also challenging in today's world. Okay, what's the second thing?
Second is set clear boundaries. And the advice here is specific. Speak concise limits. And importantly, don't feel the need to justify them.
Oh, interesting. Just state the limit.
Yes, because the guide actually says the cosmos will support firm lines. It is like you get cosmic backup when you finally draw that line clearly. It's not a time for ambiguity. It's about being clear and firm.
Huh. Cosmic backup for saying no. I like the sound of that. Why now, though? Why is this period so good for boundaries?
I think it ties back to that clarifying fire idea. These energies are kind of burning away the fluff, the inauthenticity. So if you don't set the boundary where it needs to be set, the universe might just force the issue, maybe more bluntly than you'd like.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Set the boundary yourself proactively. What's number 3?
Third, celebrate closure. And this is about small things mostly. Completing small endings, like finally sending that awkward email, deleting old contacts, maybe doing little rituals of letting go.
Why the focus on small endings?
Because, as the guide puts it, closure makes room for the next step. Each little ending creates energetic space, it clears the path. And the fourth one.
Fourth, prepare for rebirth. Especially around that eclipse new moon portal on the 21st, you're encouraged to consciously plant seeds.
These aren't necessarily physical seeds, but intentions, visions, maybe symbolic actions, things you plan to tend in October.
Ah, I like that connection. Tend in October, it gives the clearing purpose.
Exactly. It connects the letting go now to a hopeful, intentional future step. It grounds it.
Okay, this is really helpful. And it's not just theory, right? The guide gives us a practical protection and boundary toolkit. Actual things we can do during this window, Sep 17th to 30th.
Yes, and they're designed to be quick and practical, things you can use in the moment. For instance, there's a daily energy check. Takes like a minute or 2. Hand on your heart, ask yourself, is this person, this place, this task actually good for my growth right now?
And if the answer's no,
take one small action to reduce exposure, just one small step. It's about making conscious choices about your energy investment moment by moment.
Okay, simple but effective. What else?
For setting those boundaries quickly, there's a suggested 3-word boundary script. Not available, thanks.
Ooh, short and sweet.
Yep. Simple, firm. Use it to stop conversations or requests that drain you without getting into long explanations. Then, for deeper clearing, especially around the eclipse on the 21st, there's this eclipse new moon clearing idea. Write down maybe 3 things you're consciously releasing, then safely bring the paper or tear it up and bury it. Visualize doors closing. The guide stresses that eclipse energy supports letting go profoundly.
Okay, like really leaning into that release energy.
Exactly. And there's also a quick morning ritual, an armor ritual each sunrise. Just 30 seconds. Imagine a soft golden shield around you. Say out loud only what serves may enter. Repeat it if you need a boost during the day. Reinforce your field.
I like that. Simple visualization.
And one more thing in the tooltip, a digital fast window. Choose maybe a 6 to 12-hour block. The guide suggests Sept 21st to 23rd is particularly potent to just unplug.
Oof, a digital fast.
Yeah. To reduce the outside noise, the vibrations, helps you feel what's real inside yourself without all the external chatter.
These are great practical tools, very grounding for what sounds like a potentially turbulent time. The guide also gives a specific, slightly more involved ritual for the new moon eclipse itself on September 21st.
Yeah.
That seems like the peak moment for this clearing energy. Can you walk us through that one?
Sure. It's designed to be concise but really focused, to tap into that eclipse power directly. First step, cleanse a small space. Doesn't have to be elaborate. Sage, steam, even just wiping down a corner of your desk with a damp cloth. Create a little pocket of intention.
Okay.
Second, light a candle and hold a small object that represents what you want to protect. It could be a stone, an amulet, anything meaningful to you. It acts as an anchor for your intention.
A physical anchor. Got it.
Third, this is the core.
Yep.
Speak 3 concise statements aloud. One for release what you're letting go of, one for boundary what you will not accept moving forward, and one for seed the new intention you're planting. The guy gives a really good example. I release what drains, I will not be used. I seed clarity and steady heart. Very direct.
Wow. Release, boundary, seed. Powerful.
Yeah. And the final step. Place that object you were holding somewhere special. Keep it there for the next week or 3, like 7 to 21 days. As a tangible reminder of the intentions you set, it helps integrate the ritual.
It feels like a really potent way to mark that day. Okay, let's go back to that Mars-Pluto intensity around the 24th, because that still sounds like the trickiest part to navigate. We want to work with it, not get steamrolled by it. The guide had specific advice, right? Strategies for channeling it.
It did. And it's crucial because if you don't channel it, it can feel like you're just hitting walls or getting into fights. So 2 main strategies. First, channel the energy into focused, solitary work. Take that intense power and aim it constructively, like clearing out one area of life. Tackle that pile of paperwork, organize your digital files, clean out the garage. Something tangible. The guide says Mars-Pluto favors decisive, transformative action when applied calmly. So be surgical, precise. Make real progress on something stuck.
Okay, use the intensity for deep cleaning or decluttering. Makes sense. What's the second strategy?
Second, and this is key, avoid power wrestling. When you feel someone trying to manipulate, push buttons, or draw you into a struggle.
Which might happen more around then.
It might. The advice is to step back and respond later. Don't engage in the heat of the moment. The guide literally says clarity will come after the heat. So, give it space. Strategic retreat, patience. Let the intensity cool before you respond.
That sounds wise. Don't react immediately. Let the dust settle.
Ma.
But I can imagine that being hard, right?
Yeah.
Stepping back when you feel provoked. Is there a common trap there? Like, does stepping back just mean avoiding it altogether?
That's the exact trap. People might think stepping back is weak, or they just avoid the issue and let it fester inside. The key is, it's strategic. You step back intending to respond later from a clearer place.
So how do you make sure you actually do respond later?
Maybe literally make a note for yourself. Okay, need to address X with Y, we'll think about it Thursday and respond Friday. Give your brain a plan. That way it doesn't feel unresolved and keep bugging you. But you've also avoided the immediate heated reaction.
Ah, that's a great practical tip. Schedule the clarity check-in. Brilliant. And to help with gaining that clarity and all the transformation happening, the guide offers some journal prompts. These look really good for digging deeper.
Yeah, they're designed to cut through the noise, really encourage that radical inner honesty. They ask things like, what relationships or projects ask me for less of my life? That's a powerful way to phrase it.
Oof.
Or where do I feel pressured to compromise my values? How can I protect that part of me? Another one. If I could let one thing go right now and feel freer, what would it be? Gets right to the point.
Simple, but potentially profound answers there.
Definitely. And the last one is very actionable. What one small boundary can I set that will make the biggest difference this week? It prompts you to identify the most impactful small step.
Those prompts really do feel like that spiritual sifter at work, making you identify what needs the scalpel. Okay, so to pull this all together, there's also a quick timeline in the guide, a sort of roadmap for what to focus on when between September 17th and the 30th.
Yeah, it breaks it down nicely. September 17th to 20th, this is your prep time. Focus on grounding yourself. Review things. Finish up any small closures you identified. Start those light protection rituals. Basically, get ready for the intensity.
Set the stage.
Exactly. Then September 21st, new moon plus eclipse. This is the main ritual day, the peak of the release energy. Do the writing, releasing, intention planting ritual we talked about. And the big caution, avoid major new legal or financial commitments today. It's for shedding, not for starting fragile new things.
Got it. Release day. What about the 22nd?
September 22nd, equinox. This is for harvest practice. So gratitude, yes, but also consciously listing what you're keeping versus what you released. Balancing those inner scales after the eclipses clear out.
Okay, integrate the release.
Then September 23rd to 25th. This is peak Mars-Pluto time. Be observant. Watch for revelations, notice power dynamics, both internal and external. Use the energy to transform something constructively. Don't get pulled into dominating or being dominated. Stay calm. Use that strategic retreat if needed.
Vigilance and constructive action.
Right. And finally, September 26th to 30th. This is the wrap-up phase. Time for repair, integration. Look at what shifted, what results you got. Map out your next steps for October. Reinforce those new boundaries you set. And importantly, rest. Consolidate your energy. Prepare for the next chapter.
That timeline makes it feel much more manageable, a clear flow through the intensity.
Yeah.
So let's summarize. What does this deep dive tell us? It's clear the end of September 2025 isn't just business as usual. It's a really intentional, powerful window, according to this guide.
Absolutely. The guide's final thought really sticks with me. This window is not ordinary. It's a scalpel, not a paintbrush. That metaphor is so stark. It says the message is crystal clear. Cut away the dead weight, protect your field, and plant intentions that match the new horizon. The combination of the eclipse, the equinox, that Mars-Pluto transit, it makes these 14 days a genuine threshold, a chance for some pretty radical self-alignment if you choose to engage.
A threshold, I think that captures it perfectly. And the potential reward sounds significant. The guide says if you show up with clear boundaries and calm courage, you'll step into October lighter and truer to your path. It's quite the promise. It really makes you think about that scalpel versus paintbrush idea, doesn't it? How often do we just try to paint over problems? Maybe with forced positivity or distractions or just tiny tweaks, when what's really needed is that more precise, maybe uncomfortable cut to get true clarity, to really move forward. As you listen to this, maybe reflect on that. Beyond the specific astrological points, are there areas in your life right now that might benefit more from a scalpel approach in these coming weeks, rather than just another coat of paint? Something to think about as you navigate this potentially transformative time.